What's up YouTube, TAGallStar here, and for all you newcomers, my channel is drifting and automotive content, so I'll be showcasing my progression as a driver, the things that I may encounter along the way, and eventually I'll be able to go toe to toe with the best of the best. So if that's something that interests you, you're more than welcome to stick around and enjoy the show. Alright guys, so this is what we're working with. Here are the two S550 knuckles, cut knuckles as you can see. Since these are cut in place right here, that will give you pretty much a parallel setup, Ackerman setup. And the way that you achieve that is by making the tie rod point in line with the pivot point. So this should give us about close to parallel. And we've got both of these right here. Then we have our caster arms with the 3/4 heim joints, and as well we have our lower control arms with 3/4 heim joints, and they have a tie rod pickup point. And these are our tie rod ends right here. Then we have, I guess you call these, I forgot what you call these things, misalignment spacers for these. These all come with misalignment spacers, and then these right here are studs that are going to go into these holes right here. This spot right here is for the lower control arm, and this is for the caster arm. And basically the whole point of stud is to basically space up or space down the caster arm or the lower control arm, so that you have roll center adjustment just in case your car is lowered or anything like that, and help with the bump steer and all that good stuff. Now, if you really want to dive into all of that and the bump steer and whatnot, you also have to get like a bump steer tie rod in for your outer tie rod for the steering. And that's why we have these subframe spacers. And I believe this one might be for the caster arm side, and I believe these are for the lower control arm side, but I'll double check that. All right, so I've already done the other side just so I can show you guys what to do basically. So basically we're gonna do the disassembly. So we have a 24mm bolt for the caster arm, and then it should be a 21mm bolt for your regular lower control arm. And then for the strut to knuckle bolts right here, it'll be a 24mm on the back, and you have to hammer these out. And so I'll show that to you in just a second. And as well, I'm gonna take the caliper off. I think these are 15mm bolts. And then I'm gonna zip tie the caliper to the K-member right here. Just get out the way. Then I gotta take the rotor off as well, so I can swap out the knuckles with the cut knuckles that we have. So let's get right into that. And as well, we gotta take this tie rod end loose, and mine has like I think like a 3/4 bolt on it. And y'all's might be different because this is actually an aftermarket one. So let's get right into it. All right, after you get the rotor off, maybe these 10mm bolts for the dust shield. And then next, we're gonna actually turn this wheel to the left to be able to hammer these out. So let's see, get those. And another side note, I'm not gonna actually take these control arms off of the knuckle. I'm just leave them assembled just in case I ever have to reuse them, because it's kind of a pain to try to take the ball joints out of the knuckle. So just take them all out as one unit. So we have this bolt out. Is actually not a 24mm. It's standard size, so it's 15/16. And see what size this is over here. It's not 21mm, so it's probably whole assembly out. All we gotta do is get that wheel bearing right now. That is you, Dad. That is all you.
You got the other one tight on?
Sir?
Did you put the other one back on?
Yes, sir.
Hold on.
Hammer time. So get the wheel bearing off if you need one. Just gotta hammer this rubber boot off, and it'll be, what was it, 36 millimeter?
Yeah.
Both.
And the other one came out down there.
So this is what we're working with. Just a tie rod and nothing. So I'm also going to figure out inner tie rod solution, because it looks like he made the arms a little bit more extended so that I can have a little bit more wheel clearance, so that the wheels don't hit the chassis as I'm turning. So this outer tie rod is actually a little too short, so we're going to have to cheat it just for now until we can get an extended outer tie rod. Alright, so we got the cast arm and the lower control arm, and then we have our knuckle. So I'm going to go ahead and put the knuckle on the strut, and then we can put the studs on there, and I'll show you exactly how you're supposed to put the studs on there.
Yeah.
And you can use these spacers if you need like a little bit more roll center adjustment and whatnot. But like I said earlier, I'm not going to use those. I'm just going to use the misalignment spacers that these came with. Alright, so the stud for the cast arm is going to go this direction. So it's going to go on top, where this little sleeve right here will go inside of the hole for the cast arm. So put it in there like that. And we just have to tighten it down. And then for the lower control arm, this one's going to go upside down, where the sleeve is going on the underside of the hole. And you slide it in like that and tighten it up from the bottom. So with this one right here, put that washer on there like that. Hold it one hand. And then we're gonna put this nut on the bottom, and then we'll tighten it up and actually suck this into the hole for the cast arm. Okay, so for the caster arm, you'll see that there's the bend in it, and then you have a short side and a long side. The short side is going to be the side that's closest to the chassis. It's actually going to go into the subframe, and you want it oriented like this so that you have wheel clearance. So the bend should be facing the car itself. And as well, there's going to be a little spacer here, and the spacer is going to be on this side facing towards the front of the car. The spacer is going to go right here. It's hard to show it, but it's going to go right here on this side. And we'll have a little washer towards the car itself. All right, so we have the cast arm in, and I'm using the same thread pitch, or I'm gonna say the same amount of threads that I use on the other side. So I did 16 right here and 10 right there. And I don't know the exact caster just yet. I have to get the car to alignment shop. We're just eyeballing everything right now, just so we can drop this off a little bit. And then now with the lower control arm, I was actually having an issue that the stock outer tie rod couldn't adjust the toe to where it's actually straight, because the arms are pretty much extended too far. So what we're going to do this arm max short, and then go from there and see what we can do. And like I said, on this one, the spacer is going to be towards the car, so the spacer is going to be right there, and I'll show you guys in just a second. We got most of the suspension button up. We're just trying to get the sway bar end link in there. The tolerances on the tabs are a little tight, so we just grinded the tabs down just a little bit so that we can get it in there. All right, it's the next day. I pretty much got the car squared away for the most part, but I'm actually having an issue with the angle. So let's see. Right here on the driver's side, we're actually not getting full rack travel, and that's mainly because of the way that I have the arms set. So I shorten the arms all the way because I'm using these stock outer tie rods, and if I extend them out too much, I won't have enough travel to actually get my toe right with the stock outer tie rod. So if you do get this kit, or any angle kit really, it's best for you to have a bump steer adjuster or extended outer tie rods. But for right now, I'm gonna try and get this arm, the lower control arm, long enough and have a happy medium between how long this arm is, my track width, and the outer tie rods travel on the inner tie rod. Now on top of that, since I shortened the arms all the way, we actually can't get full lock because the trail wheel actually hits the sway bar. If you can see that, it hits the sway bar right there. So right now, since I have this arm all the way short, it changed the Ackerman from parallel and made it to where the Ackerman is reverse Ackerman. So that means that the trail wheel, as you can see, is getting more angled than the lead wheel. And that's, some people do like that, and that's fine. But I'm trying to get a little bit more angle as far as the lead wheel goes, and also so that it doesn't hit the sway bar. And having a reverse Ackerman will actually make the car faster, because technically, based on, since we're taking corners at opposite lock, technically the right way the Ackerman should be is in reverse, because when you're taking a corner normally, it's positive Ackerman. So you basically just change it because you're going opposite lock to get the most amount of speed out of drifting. But a lot of people prefer positive or parallel, and this kit is for parallel. So we're trying to fix the track width and see if we can get some more clearance out of it. But first I gotta take these wheels off and get the car jack stand so I get the wheels off. All right, so to adjust our track width, we're gonna disconnect this bolt down here to this part of the heim joint, and then we're gonna unscrew the heim joint to where we have about like, I'm just gonna go like a ½ inch at a time and see where we go from there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and break it down to all of you in this video. So the less caster you have, the more reverse Ackerman you will achieve with this kit because of the variable caster characteristics of having the dual pivot arms. And as well, the more caster you have, the more parallel and the more likely the wheels will get positive Ackerman, which is what I wanted, which is parallel or positive. So I actually ended up, first I decreased the caster to about like 7 or 8, and I had massive reverse Ackerman, which, like I said, that's fine for drifting sideways and trying to go fast, but it did not feel good for like a car that drives on the street, because the trail wheel will be scrubbing tremendously versus the lead wheel. So then I increased the caster a little bit and it reduced the amount of Ackerman, and then I increased the caster to roughly around like 10, 12, 13 degrees in that range, which is a lot. But I increased it to that and I actually end up getting parallel Ackerman, and I believe you go even further than that, which you probably wouldn't, but you could. You probably get positive Ackerman. So with the parallel Ackerman, the car actually felt fantastic, and it drives normal. Like the car literally just drives normal like it's stock, other than, you know, the fact that the steering feel, it has a little bit more steering feel with the new setup.
All right, so we're at McKinney's Tires right now. I was going to get a tire, but they're pretty busy. It's very hard to see it because my window's a little foggy, but it's raining right now, just like the last video. So I actually did a lot of trial and error with the kit. This is actually a couple days after we installed the angle kit. And I will actually go a little bit more in depth a little bit later about what I found out and my trial and error with the kit. So that you guys will be able to, you know, prepare yourselves for when you get the kit as well, and have your car nice and prepped for it. So right now we're gonna just do a little quick test skid. Got another viewer coming in. This is like the first test skid I'm gonna do, so hopefully it works out pretty good. All right, so while we're waiting here, I got some new gloves. These are the Ultra Slice gloves, and these are actually a Hertz line of gloves right here. And it even has like some padding in it. It was actually kind of weird to me at first. I was trying it out on the sim, but I actually do like it. You know, it has a nice feel, nice grip to it. It's actually really good, really nice set of gloves, and I like the style of them as well. Feels really good, very good. See how fitment's looking? Not too bad, not too bad. Tires ain't too bad either.
This is a little overview of everything that you will need for your car for this angle kit. And of course, these things are also things that you will need for any other angle kit that's on the market as well. So to start off, you will need some coilovers because this angle kit will drop the car about 1 inch or 2. And on my car, I have stock struts, so it lowered the car and it kind of forced the springs to be compressed. So I've lost a little bit of suspension travel as far as the compression ratio goes. On top of that, you also need to have low offset wheels, probably like I'll just give an example. So maybe like an 18 by 9.5 or 8.5 plus 20 or plus 10 wheels so that you'll have good clearance without spacers. But you can also use spacers to increase your track width as well. And on my car, as far as the lower control arm goes, I increased my track width about, I think, 2 inches and 3/4 of an inch so that I have good wheel clearance from the sway bar and from the wheel hitting the caster arm. And then on top of that, you'll need a bump steer kit. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure if you have the car raised good enough to where your ride height is pretty solid, you have good suspension travel, and your wheels aren't hitting the fenders, you won't get any bump steer, kind of like stock. Because with the increased track width, I still end up getting the stock out of tie rod to work where I can still get good toe. But as well, I do get a lot of bump steer because the car has been forced to be lowered. So once I get the coilovers, I'm gonna raise the car up and then see if the bump steer kit is even necessary, because that might not even be necessary. Also, Taylor, who created this angle kit for me, and he'll also be creating it for the rest of you if you hit him up. He is making a version 2 already where he'll have an Ackerman adjustment on it. He'll also have a bump steer kit that will come with the kit as well, and you can get all that stuff separately if you want, or you can get the whole package if that's what you desire. So, be sure to stay tuned for the next video, because in the next video, we're gonna be putting this car through its paces and really testing the kit out and seeing how it feels. As well, be sure to hit up Taylor. Don't be afraid to ask him any questions. He's more than happy to answer any questions you may have about the kit. He's more than happy to help you, and just go ahead and get in line to purchase one. I'm telling you, this kit is a serious game changer and absolutely transformed the way that this car performs. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.